October 10th was a special day for Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Today was the day that their daughter was expected to be born. Kushina was excited since this was her first child, but was nervous thanks to the 9 tails that would try to force its way out of her since her seal will weaken while she's giving birth. She witnessed firsthand how hard childbirth is when she heard her friend Sayuri Uchiha giving birth 2 months ago to a baby boy that Kushina instantly fell in love with. Sayuri had the typical Uchiha look. Her hair and eyes were obsidian black and she has pale skin. She always wears golden, dangling pearl earrings no matter where she is, and it's become part of her signature look. Her hair stopped just below her waist, but she would tie a portion of it into a high, short ponytail. She was very developed and it made all the men try to get in her bed, but she always declined. When she was off duty, she would wear a simple dark purple kimono robe or a dark blue short-sleeved dress that reached her above her knees, a black obi wrapped around her waist that had a thin white line in the middle. Minato on the other hand was happy his family was expanding. While he was happy he was having a daughter, this was not his first child. You see, about 2 months before Kushina got pregnant, Minato, Sayuri and Kushina had a threesome after celebrating a successful mission one day. It was a fun night for all of them, mainly Minato since he was with 2 of the most beautiful women in the village at the same time. They never talked about it again, but Kushina would joke around and say that if Sayuri was ever bored that she could join them again. 2 months after the threesome, Sayuri told Minato she was pregnant and Kushina got a good laugh out of it. The reason she laughed was because she said Minato was the fastest shinobi alive, but he wasn't fast enough to pull out during sex. Kushina wasn't upset about Minato and Sayuri having a child simply because she always wanted a family and their son was part of her family. Coincidentally, the next day is when Kushina found out she was pregnant and Minato gave her a big hug. Minato and Sayuri decided to name their son Naruto Uchiha since it was sort of illegal to have a child with somebody outside of the Uchiha clan since they wanted to keep their dojutsu pure. Sayuri would keep it a secret that Minato was the father of her child, but she knew Naruto's features would bear a striking resemblance to Minato as he got older. Naruto had the Uchiha black hair, but instead of the coal black eyes, Naruto's eyes were a dark blue color. His hair was spiky just like his father's along with Minato's facial structure, and his skin was darker than Sayuri, but lighter than Minato, who had 10 skin. Naruto's chakra network was also already growing and they guessed he'd have mid to high Jonin level reserves by the time he graduated from the academy. The only people who knew about Naruto being Minato and Sayuri's son other than Kushina was the 3rd Hokage known as Hiruzen Sarutobi, Kakashi Hatake, since Minato personally trusted him to guard both of them during their pregnancy as Sayuri stayed at their house quite a bit, Mikoto Uchiha, who was Kushina's best friend, and Biwako Sarutobi. She was the wife of the 3rd Hokage and helped deliver Naruto. She was also responsible for helping Kushina give birth to her daughter, which she decided to name Natsumi Uzumaki Namikaze. Since Kushina was a Jinchuriki about to give birth, Minato had set up a secret area for her to give birth since there was the risk of the 9 tails escaping. Kushina jokingly called him paranoid, but Minato was always prepared for the worst. The location was secure to the point that only Minato, Kushina, Tuumbu, Biwako and Hiruzen knew about it. The location was protected by many suppression seals for the 9 tails, as well as multiple barrier seals to keep anyone from entering. As everything was going on, Sayuri was sitting at her house with Mikoto and Naruto when she just finished breastfeeding. I can't believe that he eats so much. It's like I have to feed him every 5 minutes. Sayuri said. Well, his father does have quite the appetite. Maybe that's where he gets it from. Mikoto said, and then Naruto let out a huge burp. Yup. He gets that from his father. Sayuri said and kissed Naruto's nose. I'd never thought I would see this. Sayuri Uchiha, who didn't want kids at all, is sitting here holding her own child. Mikoto said. Haha. I guess you're right, but I wouldn't trade this for anything. 9 months of carrying him and then nearly 2 days of labor. I just loved him since I first heard him cry and finally held him. That, and I was there with Minato, who was a huge help when things started to get difficult for me once my stomach grew. Sayuri said. I know. 2 pregnant women stayed at his house and people wondered why he was always in the office. I still don't understand how you never fell for his charm. Mikoto said. Don't get me wrong, Minato is a wonderful man, but I think me and him both knew it would never work between us. Yeah, what happened between us was a mistake, but that mistake gave me the greatest gift I could ever ask for. We'll never be together, but he and I will always be connected through Naruto. Sayuri said. You should try to find a boyfriend. You can't stay single forever. Mikoto said. Please. The only reason men look at me is because of my breasts. I swear they might be as big as Lady Tsunade's thanks to them growing. Sayuri said. Nope. She's still got you beat. I was with you the last time you had to buy some bras. You're 99 centimeters and according to what Master Jiraiya told Minato and Kushina, Lady Tsunade is 106 centimeters. Mikoto said. Remind me to keep that perv away from my son. Sayuri said. Duly noted. Mikoto said, and then Naruto started to cry as an ominous feeling came over the entire Leaf Village. It's okay baby. Mommy's got you. Sayuri said, and then a loud roar was heard. Kushina. Sayuri and Mikoto said at the same time as Naruto cried even louder. Lady Mikoto. Get to the bunker now. You as well, Lady Sayuri. An Uchiha clan member said. What's going on? Sayuri asked. The Nine Tails is attacking the village. The fourth Hokage is on the battlefield as we speak, but the Nine Tails is on a rampage. Hurry, the Uchiha member said. Sayuri, get to that bunker. I'm going to find my kids. Mikoto said and vanished. Kushina, Minato. Please be okay. Sayuri thought and grabbed a few scrolls with food and water before going to the bunker with Naruto. Bunker. While in the bunker, Sayuri was still able to hear the Nine Tails going on a rampage. The Nine Tails was extremely powerful because the seals Minato added into the bunker to keep the vibrations or sounds of battle from causing damage weren't really working. Sayuri felt a huge amount of chakra being gathered before it was launched in the direction of the bunker which was located in the Hokage monument and this caused her to hold Naruto even tighter. However, the attack that was launched was suddenly gone and teleported far away. Minato must have done something. Sayuri thought. Excuse me, Lady Sayuri? A voice asked and she looked down. HM? What is it, Kurenai? Sayuri asked. See, can I hold your baby? Kurenai asked. Sure. If he starts to fuss he might be hungry, so just give him back. Sayuri said and carefully placed Naruto in the arms of Kurenai. He's so cute. Kurenai said and Naruto opened his eyes to look at her. Other than me, Mikoto, Kushina and Minato, you're the first person that got him to open his eyes. Sayuri said. Does that mean he likes me? Kurenai asked. It would seem so. Sayuri said. Lady Sayuri. A childlike voice said. Hello, Itachi. How are you? Sayuri said. I'm fine. I finally got Sasuke to stop crying. Itachi said and showed her Sasuke in his arms. He's just afraid. Naruto cried for a short while as well, but he calmed down. Where's your mother and father? Sayuri asked. I'm right here. Fugaku is out helping get the rest of the civilians to safety. Lord Third is handling the Nine Tails right now and Minato is making sure Kushina and Natsumi are safe. Mikoto said. Maybe I should go help. I'm not retired. Sayuri said. You just gave birth 2 months ago and you haven't trained in 9 months. Your skills are rusty right now and you have Naruto to think about. Minato and Lord Third can handle this. Mikoto said. I hope you're right. Kurenai. Can you watch Naruto for me while I hand out food and water? Sayuri asked. I don't think I have a choice. He fell asleep and I don't think waking him up is a good thing. Kurenai said. It's not. He can be a handful if he is woken up too early. Sayuri said. Sounds like somebody I know. Mikoto said and Sayuri glared at her. Shut up. Sayuri said and Mikoto just laughed at her. Anyway. I think I should hand out the food and water. You know medical ninjutsu so you can help with the wounded. Mikoto said. Sure. Here you go. Sayuri said and gave Mikoto a large sealing scroll. What's this? Mikoto asked. Food and water for everyone. Sayuri said and Mikoto's sweat dropped. Isn't this a bit much? Mikoto asked. No. I'm always prepared just in case an Akimichi is with me. In this case we have more than one. Sayuri said. I guess you're right. Mikoto said. Here, Kurenai. Sayuri said and gave her a small scroll. What's in here? Kurenai asked. Bottles of milk, diapers and everything else for Naruto. Sayuri said. Okay. Kurenai said. I'll be back as soon as possible. Sayuri said and walked away to tend to the wounded. Next day funeral. After the events of the Nine Tails attack, everyone was gathered for the funeral of everyone who had fallen during the Nine Tails attack. Amongst those people were Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki who sacrificed their lives to save Natsumi from dying. Minato split the Nine Tails and sealed half of it inside of his daughter while he took the other half with him. He had to use the Reaper death seal, and as the Nine Tails was being sealed away, it lashed out in one last effort to kill Natsumi, but Minato and Kushina jumped in the way. Kushina could have survived, but once she was impaled by the Nine Tails nail, she knew she was a goner. While all the adults were silent, Natsumi and Naruto were placed in front of a picture of Minato. Natsumi was crying her heart out, but Naruto was just looking at the picture of Minato as if he was expecting Minato to say something back or pick him up. Minato and Kushina. Both of you have your lives to protect the Hidden Leaf Village and to safeguard its future as well. The sacrifices you two have made will never be forgotten, Hiruzen said. Sayuri meanwhile was crying the most out of everyone there. It was no secret that she was the closest to Kushina and Minato out of everyone gathered at the funeral. As she was crying, her eyes started to burn really badly, and when she wiped her eyes, she saw she was crying blood. She looked up and was thankful nobody saw her. Hiruzen went to grab Natsumi and she took that as a signal for her to grab Naruto. Once they were up there, Hiruzen spoke quietly to her so only she could hear him. I know you would like to take Natsumi in, but due to her Jinchuriki status, being Minato's daughter, I don't think that would be wise. Word would spread quickly if somebody was to figure it out, and I can't take that risk. Hiruzen said. Where will she be placed? Sayuri asked. I'll place her in the orphanage. I'm keeping her status as a Jinchuriki an S-ranked secret, and hopefully she gets adopted into a nice family. Hiruzen said. Have you told Makoto? Sayuri asked. Yes. I ran into her earlier and informed her. Hiruzen said. I'll tell Naruto about his father, but I won't tell him about Natsumi. Sayuri said. Be sure to tell him he can't mention it to anybody. The war just recently ended and tensions are still high. If word gets out that he has the blood of an Uchiha and Minato, he'll undoubtedly be sought after. Hiruzen said and chuckled. What's so funny? Sayuri asked. If Naruto is anything like his father, then I have a feeling he'll figure everything out before we can tell him. Hiruzen said. If he does, then I'll explain her situation and why he can't say anything to her. When exactly do you plan on telling her about her heritage? Sayuri asked. Either when she is mature enough to handle it or not until she becomes a Chunin. I'll keep a letter for the next Hokage. Shall I pass away before I can tell her? Hiruzen said. Oh come on. You've still got plenty of life left in you. Sayuri said. That is true, but I am still old and anything can happen at any moment. Anyway, I must bid you farewell. I have to drop Natsumi off at the hospital and then attend a meeting with the council. Hiruzen said. I understand. By the way, I'm sorry about Biwako. I heard this morning. Sayuri said. Thank you. I know she's waiting for me, but she'll have to wait a bit longer for me. Hiruzen said and walked away. I guess he told you what's going on. Makoto said. Yeah. I hope she can find a family to raise her. Sayuri said. Don't worry. I'm sure once they get a good look at her face they won't be able to resist. Makoto said. I guess you're right. Do you mind taking Naruto to Kurenai for me? She said she'd watch him while I helped out at the hospital and I'm running late. Sayuri said. Not at all. Seems Kurenai has taken a liking to Naruto. Makoto said as she took Naruto from Sayuri. Seems so. She had him all day yesterday. I even let her stay at my place since she lost her father yesterday. It was the least I could do. Sayuri said and walked away. Makoto, whose child is this? Fugaku asked. This is Sayuri's son. Makoto said. I see. I was unaware of her having a child. Fugaku said. She found out she was pregnant and decided to stay with Kushina and Minato. Makoto said. I see. What is the status of Minato and Kushina's child? Fugaku asked. Hiruzen told me earlier that she's going into the orphanage and hopefully a family will adopt her. Makoto said. I see. Did you offer to take her in? Fugaku asked. Yes, but Hiruzen doesn't want anyone to know she's related to Minato or Kushina. It would raise suspicion if we were to suddenly adopt a red-haired baby with blue eyes like Minato right after they died. There's that, and the war just ended. Tensions are still high between SIWA and Kumo. If word got out that Minato and Kushina had a baby, then they'd surely act on it, since I'm sure word of the Nine Tails attacking will spread across the nation. IWA would try to kill her and Kumo would use her as a baby factory to try and get their hands on the Uzumaki Kekei Genkai. Makoto said. Which is why she should be under the protection of the Uchiha clan. Fugaku said. No. What's best for her is to grow up out of the spotlight, and if she was to be adopted into our family, then the focus of our clan. Makoto said and walked away. Where are you going? I'm not finished talking to you yet. Fugaku said. I'm taking Naruto to his babysitter. I'll be home after that. Mikoto said. Meeting. We managed to stop the Nine Tails, but the sacrifice was too great. Hamura said. However, there is no time to lament. The Hokage's seat is now empty and we must decide who will take the position. Kohara said. Perhaps someone from the generation after Minato can take over. Shikaka said. We have nurtured fine jonin without a doubt, but none of them possess the experience to rule over a whole village. Kohara said. Well, is there anyone else? Shikaka asked and Danzo was about to speak up, but Hiruzen stood up. It can't be helped. This is a critical time, so I shall take over and become Hokage. Hiruzen said. You'd really consider doing that? Hamura asked. Well, if you're still willing. You quit once. Do you really believe that you're up to it? Can you actually handle it? Truth be told, even though you did go after the Nine Tails, you still failed to save the fourth Hokage from his fate. Danzo asked as he interrupted Koharu. Such a remark is uncalled for. Hamura said. Where were you during the battle against the Nine Tails? Kohara asked and Danzo grit his teeth, but Hiruzen just laughed. Please indulge this old man. Allow me to fill in as Hokage. Just for the time being. Until we can groom the next one. Hiruzen said and Danzo was even more pissed. Very well. Hiruzen will become Hokage once again. Kohara said. Since that is over with, what will happen to the Jinchuriki? Danzo asked. Jinchuriki? What does he mean, Lord Third? Inoichi asked. As you all know, Kushina was pregnant and gave birth. Her daughter is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Minato sacrificed his life to seal the beast away and save the village. Hiruzen said. Will you allow me to adopt her into my clan? I was pretty good friends with Minato. Shikaka said. That cannot happen. The reason being is that she'd become a target for both IWA and Kumo if she's adopted by a clan. Hiruzen said. Then I propose you place her in my care. I will make sure she has the proper conditioning to live in the village and protect it like a Jinchuriki should. Danzo said. No. She will go into the orphanage and hopefully a nice family will adopt her. Also, news of her Jinchuriki status and heritage will be an S-ranked secret with a punishment of death. No harm is to come to her that goes for civilians and clan members. Hiruzen said. What? All the clan heads yelled. You heard me. No harm is to come to Natsumi. Do not test me. Now, if any clan has an available medic, please send them to the hospital. Sayuri Uchiha is already there helping out and she could use the extra hand. Hiruzen said. Sayuri? Didn't she just give birth? Choza asked. Yes, but she isn't doing any physical training as of yet. Hiruzen said. Hospital next day. Sayuri was finished with her shift at the hospital and that's when she came across Natsumi sleeping in the room with other babies. She just looked at Natsumi who was unaware of the situation she was put in. The more she looked at Natsumi, the more she saw Kushina and it made her cry. She was unaware that Mikoto walked up to her until she placed a hand on her shoulder. The more I look at her, the more I see Kushina. Sayuri said. Me too. I'm only here because after this I don't know when I'll see her again. Mikoto said. What do you mean? I'm sure if she gets adopted then whoever adopts her will allow us to see her. Sayuri said. It's not that. The Uchiha clan is being relocated to the outskirts of the village. Mikoto said. What? Why? Sayuri asked. Fugaka said that it was decided by the council that it's necessary for Konoha's reconstruction. Mikoto said. This just screams Danzo is behind it. Sayuri said. I know, but with the way the village is right now we can't afford to seem selfish. Hopefully this will all go over smoothly for us and it won't escalate into anything further. Mikoto said. Hopefully it doesn't. Well, I need to go and pick up Naruto. Sayuri said. He's with Kurenai again? Mikoto asked. Yeah. She said she won't be on missions again for another month and didn't mind watching him. Apparently she's going to the orphanage and wants to take Naruto with her to see if she can get him started early on making friends. Sayuri said. I see. I'd do the same, but Fugaka doesn't want Sasuke hanging around people he feels won't make him become strong. Mikoto said. I understand. Hell, I bet he's probably taking arranged marriages now for Sasuke within the clan. Sayuri said and Mikoto laughed. Please don't say that. Mikoto said. I'm just saying. I'll stop by later with Naruto. Sayuri said and gave one last look at Natsumi before leaving. 5 years later. As time passed in the village, not everything was happy-go-lucky as it seemed from the outside and to people who weren't good at analyzing certain situations. There was a lot of tension in the village between the Uchiha clan and the higher-ups of the village. There was also tension between Kumo and Konoha after a failed attempt to kidnap the Hyuga heiress when she was 3 years old, which resulted in the death of a Kumo shinobi. Over the 5 years, Naruto has grown up both physically and mentally. He was quite smart for his age, and Sayuri knew that came from Minato. It became painfully obvious that Naruto wasn't a full-blooded Uchiha as he got older, since his hair started to spike out, unlike all Uchiha members who had straight hair. His dark blue eyes also have it away, and the clan minus the people didn't like him, but they never attacked him since they didn't want to deal with Sayuri, who was very protective of Naruto and could possibly go toe-to-toe with one of the legendary Sannin. Over the years, Naruto started to wear a mask since he would go out in public and girls would stare at him, then quickly look away as when he caught them. The mask reminded his mother of a certain silver-haired shinobi that hasn't met Naruto for some reason. Kurenai still came around when she could, but she would bring her friend Anko with her. Naruto thought Anko was weird, but cool whenever she wasn't obsessed with taking off his mask. Naruto looked at them as older sisters, with Kurenai being the mature one. Since he was 5 years old, he also began his training since he wanted to become a ninja like his mother and sisters. Sayuri taught him some basic taijutsu skills, shuriken jutsu, and chakra control skills. Naruto's chakra reserves were quite large for him, and Sayuri knew that there was only one person his age with higher reserves. He wanted to learn some ninjutsu, but Sayuri wouldn't teach him any until he was finished with his chakra control training. He was finished training for the day, and his mom let him go to the Nine Tails festival. He was always asking to go, but his mom always said no to him, but something told her to let him go this year. She gave him some money to spend, which he thought was a lot, but he didn't mind at all. He was walking around, and of course he was mesmerized by everything that was going on, but something caught his attention. He saw a group of 6 civilians chase something into an alley, followed by screams. His curiosity got the best of him, so he followed them into the alley, only to get angry at what he saw. They were kicking, punching, stabbing, and throwing whatever they could at a girl who looked no older than he did. Something told him he should stop them, and he did. He found 2 small pipes on the ground and jumped into action. He hit one of them in the back of his head as hard as he could and knocked him out. When the other civilians heard the man yell in pain before falling to the ground, they turned around and saw Naruto. "What are you doing?" "She's just a little girl," Naruto said. "This thing is no girl," a male civilian said. "She's a demon in human skin. She killed the 4th Hokage. We're finishing what Lord 4th started. Today is the day we get rid of this demon." The civilians turned back to start beating the girl again, but Naruto ran and stood in front of him, and then they started to back away with a scared look on their face. Naruto was standing there glaring at them, but his eyes were no longer dark blue. They were red with one tomo in each eye, and the civilians started to leave until one of them recognized Naruto's hair. "Hey, it's just the half-breed Uchiha. You're right. We can kill the demon and take out the half-breed for the Uchiha clan. Let's get him." The civilians went on to attack, but then a kunai landed in front of them. "I hope you weren't about to lay a finger on my little brother," Kurenai said, as she appeared. "It looks like they were, Kurenai. Maybe we should teach them a lesson. I mean, picking on 2 kids and one of them just so happens to be our little brother," Anko said, as she appeared and pulled out a kunai. "It's the snake whore and genjutsu mistress. Let's get out of here. You all won't be going anywhere," a voice said from behind them, and the civilians grew scared. "Lord 3rd. What are you doing here?" Kurenai asked. "I was looking for the little girl behind you. She's been missing from the orphanage for about a year now, and I've been looking for her ever since," Hiruzen said, as a group of Umbu appeared. "Do I get to play with these civilians?" Anko asked, and had a creepy-looking grin on her face. "Yes. Umbu, escort all these civilians to Tianai. Anko and Ibiki have free rein to get whatever they can out of them before killing them," Hiruzen said. "Yes, sir," the Umbu said, and took the civilians away. "Well, looks like I'm having fun tonight," Anko said, and vanished. "I honestly can't with her sometimes," Kurenai said. "What's this on her stomach?" Naruto thought, as he saw something appear on her stomach before it went away. "Hey, wake up," Naruto said, and shook the girl, who groaned a bit before waking up. Who are you?" she asked. "Naruto Uchiha." "Who are you?" Naruto asked. "Natsumi Uzumaki," Natsumi said. "What did you do to make them beat you like that?" Naruto asked. "I didn't do anything. I was walking around and they started chasing me. It's been like this since I was kicked out of the orphanage," Natsumi said. Natsumi, the orphanage told me you ran away a year ago. Hiruzen said, as he walked over to them. Old man, Natsumi exclaimed, as she ran and gave him a hug. Her wounds are already healed. What's going on? Naruto thought. Natsumi, why did the orphanage kick you out? Kurenai asked. They said that I was old enough to live on my own. I tried to find the old man, but the stupid old lady at the desk kept kicking me out. So, I've just been living on the streets and eating free ramen. The Ikaraku said that I don't have to pay, and I tell you that stuff is food for the gods. Natsumi said, and had drool coming out of her mouth. She looks almost exactly like Lady Kushina. Wait a second. Red hair, violet eyes and a ramen addiction? This is Lord Fourth's daughter. Kurenai thought. What happened to your parents? Naruto asked. Let's not get carried away with questions. Natsumi, I'd like for you to come with me. I'll find you a place to live before the night is over. Hiruzen said. Thanks, old man. Bye, Naruto. Cool eyes, by the way. Natsumi said, causing Hiruzen and Kurenai to look at Naruto. No way. He's so young. Kurenai thought. The Sharingan at his age? No one has unlocked the Sharingan at such a young age. Hiruzen thought. Thank you. Before you go, old man, I have a question for you. Naruto said. Oh, and what would that be? Hiruzen asked. Why were the civilians saying she was a demon and killed the fourth Hokage? Naruto asked. I do not know, Naruto. Hopefully Anko and Ibiki can get the answers from them. Come along, Natsumi. Hiruzen said, and the two of them left. Naruto, would you like to come with me for the festival? Kurenai asked. Sure. Naruto said. Maybe you can make some friends. Kurenai said. Why do you always try to have me make friends? Naruto asked. So you won't be lonely your entire life. Kurenai said. I guess you're right, but I have you, Anko, Mom and Aunt Mikoto. I'm good with that for now. Naruto said. True, but you need friends your age. You can't always hang out with the adults. Kurenai said. Then I'll just hang out with Anko. Naruto said, and Kurenai laughed. I see your point, but Anko likes to go out and do adult things as well. Kurenai said. You mean stalk that guy with the scar over his nose? Naruto asked. How'd you know about that? Kurenai asked. She's extremely open when she's drunk. Last time we were together she told me about him. I forgot his name though. Naruto said, and then looked at the top of a building. You need to stop hanging with her when she's drunk. Who knows what she'll tell you next, and it's certain things you shouldn't know about at your age. Kurenai said, and Naruto didn't respond, so she looked at him. What's wrong? Kurenai asked. Somebody was watching us. Naruto said. He's a censor? Kurenai thought. Are they still there? Kurenai asked and pulled out a kunai. No. Whoever it was left. Naruto said. I see. Let's get out of here. We can still get to some of the good food stands if we hurry. Kurenai said. I already ate though. Naruto said. Then what do you want to do? Kurenai asked. Can you show me where the library is? Naruto asked. Sure. Kurenai said. Underground base. Lord Danzo, I have news. An Umbu agent said. What is it? Danzo asked. While I was unable to capture the Jinchuriki due to interference from the Hokage, Anko Mitatashi and Kurenai Yuhi, I found something else that might interest you. The Umbu said. It better be important since you failed to get me my weapon. Danzo said. It is. The Uchiha known as Naruto has awakened his Sharingan during the event and appears to be a censor as well since he was able to detect me, but I quickly left. The Umbu said. His Sharingan? Are you sure? Danzo asked. Yes, sir. I wouldn't have reported it if it was not true. The Umbu said. Interesting. A 5-year-old with his Sharingan awakened is simply unheard of. I don't think Madara Uchiha unlocked his Sharingan at such an age. Keep an eye on the Jinchuriki. I'll send another squad to watch the Uchiha. Capture the Jinchuriki if possible. If she gets into the academy then I'll have no choice but to declare the mission a failure. The squad I'll send after the Uchiha will have the same orders. Danzo said. Yes, Lord Danzo. The Umbu said and vanished. Having the Jinchuriki and an Uchiha who may have the most powerful Sharingan in Uchiha clan history will certainly make my future plans easier. Danzo thought. Next day Hokage office. Naruto, why did you want me to bring you to the Hokage? Sayuri asked. Because I have some questions and whoever is in charge may have the answers. Naruto said. Why didn't you just ask me? Sayuri asked. Because it's something that I don't think you can answer. Naruto said and knocked on the door. Come in. A familiar voice said, and they entered the office. "You're the Hokage?" Naruto asked with wide eyes, and Hiruzen chuckled. "Indeed I am. What can I do for you today?" Hiruzen asked. "He said he wanted some questions answered and he thinks you can answer them." Sayuri said. "Okay then. Let's hear them." Hiruzen said. "Do you know we're not alone in this office?" Naruto asked. "Of course. I have my 3 Umbu guards here." Hiruzen said. "But there's a total of 8 people in the room." Naruto said, and Hiruzen signaled for his Umbu to capture the spies, revealing them to be blank-masked Umbu. "Root?" Sayuri asked. "Danzo. Take them to Ibiki. I want him to get everything out of them." Hiruzen said, and the Umbu vanished. "Cool," Naruto said, and Hiruzen chuckled. "This has been an interesting couple of hours for you, Naruto. You unlocked your Sharingan last night protecting Natsumi and you're a censor." Hiruzen said. "He unlocked his Sharingan?" Sayuri asked. "He didn't tell you?" Hiruzen asked. "No. Why didn't you tell me?" Sayuri asked. "I kind of forgot," Naruto said, and scratched the back of his head. "We'll talk about it later. What are your questions?" Sayuri asked. "So, I went to the library last night after the whole thing with Natsumi and I found something that I think has to do with the way she's treated," Naruto said. "What would that be?" Hiruzen asked. "Is she what's known as a tailed beast that I read about last night?" Naruto asked, and both adults froze. "What makes you ask that?" Hiruzen asked. "Well, last night the people that were attacking Natsumi called her a demon. I went to the hospital and looked around until I found an old book about the tailed beasts. It said that there were 9 total and they were also known as demons to us. It said that Hashirama Senju captured all of the tailed beasts and gave them away to form peace during the Warring States period. Kumo has 2, the 8 and 2 tails. Suna has 1, the 1-tailed beast. Taki has 1, the 7 tails. Kiri has 2, the 3 and 6 tails, and Iwa has 2, the 4 and 5 tails. It says nothing about the 9 tails or Konoha having a tailed beast. I know you can't kill them since in the book it says they can only be sealed away. That's why I asked if Natsumi was the same 9-tailed fox that attacked 5 years ago." Naruto said. "No. She is not the 9 tails, Naruto." Hiruzen said. "Then why do they call her a demon? Does it have anything to do with this that I saw on her stomach?" Naruto said, and pulled out a painting of what he saw on her stomach. "You painted this?" Hiruzen asked. "Yes. It's only multicolored because I kept running out of paint," Naruto said. "Aside from a few parts this is nearly perfect." Hiruzen thought. "Is Natsumi somehow connected to the 9 tails?" Naruto asked. "You might as well tell him. He's so close to figuring it out," Sayuri said. "Figuring out what?" Naruto asked, and Hiruzen sighed before sealing the room. "Listen, Naruto. What I'm about to tell you is an S-ranked secret. Do you know what that means?" Hiruzen asked. "Yes." Naruto answered, and Hiruzen nodded. "Good. Now, Natsumi is connected to the 9 tails, but she's not the 9 tails itself. She is what's known as a Jinchuriki." Hiruzen said. "What's that?" Naruto asked. Jinchuriki are humans that have tailed beasts sealed within them. They exhibit extraordinary powers due to the immense chakra reserves they possess. Natsumi was born the day of the 9 tails attack and the 4th Hokage and gave up his life to seal the 9 tails inside of her in order to save the village from being destroyed. She is what keeps the 9 tails from going on another rampage and keeps it locked away. Hiruzen said. "So she's like a container and the 9 tails is like water inside of the container." Naruto said. "In layman's terms, yes." Hiruzen said. "If you crack a container of water, the water leaks out until it leaks all the way out. Don't they know that if they keep treating her like that they risk the 9 tails escaping?" Naruto asked. "People fear what they do not understand. Her being a Jinchuriki is an S-ranked secret to protect her, but somebody leaked the information out to the public." Hiruzen said. "So what is that?" Naruto asked and pointed at his painting. "This is truly a masterpiece. It's the seal that keeps the 9 tails from escaping Natsumi. The 4th Hokage placed this on her as his final act before dying. It's what's known as an 8 tetragram seal and is powerful enough to contain the 9 tails. This type of skill is known as Fuinjutsu, and the 4th Hokage was a master of the art. You seem to have skill in that department as well if you were able to paint a near replica of this and you've only seen the seal once." Hiruzen said. "Can somebody teach me?" Naruto asked. "I can't. I'm not good at Fuinjutsu," Sayuri said. "I have a book from the 4th Hokage that I think he'd want you to have." It's all of his notes on Fuinjutsu to become a sealing master. However, I must warn you to be careful with this. Fuinjutsu is extremely hard and one wrong move can be very dangerous. Hiruzen said and gave Naruto a book, but then a picture fell out. Mom, Naruto said. What is it, Naruto? Sayuri asked. Is he my dad? Naruto asked and showed her the picture so she nodded. Yes. The fourth Hokage is your father. I didn't tell you because I wanted to wait until you matured a bit more. I was going to tell you on your 6th birthday since that's when you started the academy, but it seems you're ready now. Sayuri said. Did he know about me? Naruto asked. Yes. The only way he wasn't around was October 10th. Sayuri said. Because of the Nine Tails attack? Naruto asked. No. It was something else. Sayuri said. Are you sure he's ready to know the truth? Hiruzen asked. Yes. I underestimated how quickly he would mature and part of that was me foolishly hoping he would stay a baby for his entire life, but I was wrong to think that. Sayuri said. What's the truth? Naruto asked. The reason your father wasn't around on October 10th wasn't just because the Nine Tails was attacking. He was gone because your sister was born that exact same day. Sayuri said and Naruto's jaw dropped. I thought I was your only child. Naruto said. You are. Me and your father were never together. I won't go into detail since you're so young, but you were created from that. Minato had a wife and she gave birth to your sister and you've already met her. Sayuri said. I did? Who is she? Naruto asked. Natsumi Uzumaki. Sayuri said. The girl from last night? Does she know about me? Naruto asked. No. I haven't told her about her heritage yet simply because she's more at risk than you are. You see, your father and her mother had issues with Kumo and IWA. If Natsumi was to find out right now she'd tell everyone given her personality. Her mother was Kushina Uzumaki and Kumo tried to kidnap her one day for the Uzumaki Kekkai Genkai. IWA simply hated your father because of his actions during the Third Shinobi War and they'd do anything to kill both of you. Hiruzen said. So I can't tell her who I am? Naruto asked. No, not yet. However, given what happened last night I can do something for you. Hiruzen said. What is it? Naruto asked. I know you'll seek her out to spend time with her and get close to her, but I'll give you a mission that won't go on your record until you become a shinobi. How's that sound? Hiruzen asked. Fucking awesome. Naruto said and Sayuri popped him upside his head. Naruto Uchiha. You do not use that language. Sayuri said. Ow. Anko says it all the time. How come she can say it, but I can't? Naruto asked. Because she's an adult. Sayuri said. Fine. Sorry old man. Naruto said and Hiruzen chuckled. It's quite alright. Now, this will be an S-rank mission due to her status as a Jinchuriki. Your mission will start when you've advanced in your training. You will help a squad of Umbu protect her during the day while at night I'll have a different squad watching her. Hiruzen said. Are you sure about this Lord Hokage? What about him? Won't he go after Natsumi as well? Sayuri asked. Yes. I can already tell within 2 years Naruto will be stronger than some genin. As for him, he'll attack at night, but I have Kat and her squad guarding her at night. Naruto will just deal with civilians and some ninja that are genin or chunin. It will be easier for me to protect her during the academy as well since I have a feeling that the teachers and students will try to sabotage her. Sarutobi said. Then if that's the case, why not fire them and get new teachers? Sayuri asked. Because the academy somehow fell into the hands of the civilian council and I'm still trying to find a way to take it back. I can only get involved if something is reported directly to me and that's where Naruto comes in at. If you see any kind of sabotage going on report it to me. Hiruzen said. Permission to beat them up? Naruto asked. Only if you deem it necessary. Hiruzen said. Good. Naruto said. That means if they attack her first young man. Sayuri said. Remember, Naruto. You can't say a word to Natsumi about any of this. Hiruzen said. I know. Naruto said. Also, when you graduate from the academy, I'll have a surprise for you. It's something your father left behind for you. I don't know what it is since it's sealed in a scroll that will only open with your blood. Hiruzen said. That Minato. Always thinking ahead. Sayuri said. Well, that will be all. I must go to a council meeting. Hiruzen said. Come on, Naruto. It's still early enough for you to get a couple of hours of training done. Sayuri said. Okay. Bye old man. Naruto said as they left the room. Sayuri house. Okay. Since you've unlocked the Sharingan, training will be different. Sayuri said. Different how? Naruto asked. I'm going to teach you about the Sharingan. What you have right now is the basic level of the Sharingan, but unlocking it at your age is simply unheard of. Your One Tomo Sharingan gives you the instant ability to analyze things. It allows you to copy jutsu, imitate movements and have faster perception. Sayuri said. So it's kind of like a defensive tool right now? Naruto asked. Exactly. The next step is the Two Tomo Sharingan. It's the same as the One Tomo Sharingan, but you get slightly enhanced vision that will allow you to see your opponents move slightly in advance. The third is when you have 3 Tomo in your Sharingan, and that's when it's fully matured. This version of the Sharingan enhances your vision to the max, allowing you to see your opponent's moves in advance so you can counter before they attack you. This version also gives you access to some Sharingan genjutsu as well. Sayuri said. I get that and everything, but that seems pretty basic when you explain it like that. I was expecting more and I already see a weakness in the Sharingan. Naruto said. What would that weakness be? Sayuri asked. Well, what if you fight somebody that doesn't really have a set movement for their attack? I think even the Sharingan would have a difficult time reading and predicting the attack. Naruto said. That's good. I should also warn you about reaction timing. Just because the Sharingan can see and predict movements, doesn't mean you'll be able to counter in time. Your Sharingan will essentially slow their movements down, but if your body isn't conditioned enough then you won't be able to dodge. Sayuri said. So will you be training me in speed as well? Naruto asked. I want you to be an all-around ninja. Most in the Uchiha clan unlock their Sharingan and focus solely on their Sharingan. I'll teach you every aspect of being a ninja. Genjutsu, ninjutsu, taijutsu, kenjutsu and some medical ninjutsu. When you graduate from the academy, I want you to be a mid-chunin level shinobi. I know you can be stronger than that, but taking a break to give your body a chance to fully recover is a good thing and is essential to your growth. Sayuri said. This is going to suck, isn't it? Naruto asked. Of course it is, but I'm sure you can handle it. Now, come here so I can place some seals on you. Sayuri said. What kind of seals? Naruto asked. These are resistance seals. They make it harder for you to move and they don't stunt your growth like weights would at your age. Basically it feels like the gravity is increasing around you a bit. Sayuri said as she placed the seals on Naruto. Cool. Naruto said, as he felt it hard to move. Should I tell him about that? I think he can handle it. I hope I'm not wrong about this. Sayuri thought. Naruto, there's something else I need to tell you about the Sharingan. Sayuri said in a serious tone that he picked up on. What about it? I thought you told me everything about it. Naruto said. No. The last thing I need to tell you about is the 4th stage of the Sharingan. It's known as the Manjikyu Sharingan and is extremely powerful. Sayuri said and activated her Manjikyu Sharingan, which was in the form of a 3-leaf clover, Naori Uchiha Manjikyu. Picture on profile. What does it do? Naruto asked. This version of the Sharingan gives you your own unique abilities and as you can see, it changes the look of the Sharingan to a unique pattern. The drawback of the Manjikyu Sharingan is that you go blind the more you use it. Sayuri said. Then what's the point of getting it? You gain immense power, but lose your vision. How do you even awaken it? Naruto asked. According to the Uchiha stone tablet, you must kill your best friend. Sayuri said. Did you kill your best friend? Naruto asked. Indirectly. I could have possibly saved Kushina had I gone to see her give birth to Natsumi, but I declined. Sayuri said. The cost of this Manjikyu is losing your vision and your best friend. It's not worth it in the end. Naruto said. I hope you never have to experience that kind of pain, but since you'll become a shinobi, I don't think it's unavoidable. Sayuri said. I'll try my best to keep that from happening. Naruto said. Good. Just be careful if it does happen. Sayuri said. So what does your Manjikyu Sharingan do? Naruto asked. I have an ability in my right eye known as time skip. I can freeze time for 1/5 of a second, but I'm able to move around freely in that small time frame. If I use this ability enough, I can store the time I've skipped to create a separate space so I won't get touched. Sayuri said. That's so cool. Naruto said. It is. My second ability is from my left eye called Amaterasu and I have the ability to control the shape of my flames. Sayuri said. Wow. Naruto said. Enough about my abilities. Let's start training. Sayuri said and started to cough heavily. Mom, are you okay? Naruto asked. I'm fine. It's just a cough. I want you to start by giving me 15 laps around the backyard. After that we'll work on your kunai and shuriken skills. Sayuri said. Okay, Naruto said. He took off running, but looked back when he heard his mom coughing. Sayuri noticed this and gave him a smile with a wave, reassuring him that she was fine. When Naruto started his laps again, Sayuri looked at her hand and saw she had blood on her hand. She sighed and hoped she had time to at least get Naruto into the academy since she knew she would never make it to see him graduate the academy. All she knew was that she needed to train him as much as she could before her time came.